start it off with the Eagles because we're going to go in order here of the way things kind of played out over the weekend. We'll start off with this little nugget. All right, so the Eagles, they finished their preseason play by tying the New York Jets. Okay, Jalen Hurts does not play in the game. Okay, I still don't understand why. I don't get why. And I know that a reason that could be floated out there is because of injury. I don't really care for that reason too much, to be honest with you. I don't like that reasoning a little bit because now your quarterback is going to go into the season. Let's see here. He started, 4 games last year? All right. Didn't have much of a preseason, didn't have any preseason last year as a rookie. He was kind of thrown to the Wolves during last season. He played 2 series this year. Now, that was, but let's see, let's do the math. When the season starts, that'll be a month, as we predicted last week, a month between game action for your starting quarterback of your football team. That's a problem to me. Now, why is that a problem? That's a problem for this reason. Patrick Mahomes is an MVP. Patrick Mahomes is a perennial MVP candidate. I don't think many people would argue with that. Josh Allen was an MVP candidate last year for the Buffalo Bills. Those 2 players, most notably Patrick Mahomes, the better player of the 2, I think most people would agree, played significant snaps in the preseason, including playing in the 3rd preseason game, including playing an entire half of football in the 2nd preseason game. Josh Allen played almost an entire first half, all but 1 snap, which was a kneel down that they let Jake Fromm take the snap for that kneel down in Buffalo. So you mean to tell me that those 2 players need the preseason, but Jalen Hurts doesn't need the preseason? That makes 0 sense to me. And for a guy that is Mr. Competitive like Nick Sirianni, man, that seems to go out the window when it comes to a game. But when it comes to practice, we're talking about practice, not a game, not a game, not a game. We're talking about practice. Apparently, the practice means more than the ultimate form of competition, which is a game itself. Let's hear from Nick Sirianni what he had to get into. First off, let's talk about this 2-week layoff period, as we mentioned before. Let me get to it. Before I get to Nick Sirianni, I do want to tell you this. We're going to make a change today. We are going to have our social media check-in before the guest. So we're going to get to all your guys' piping hot takes because there was so much that happened over the weekend. I want to make sure we get to that before we get to our guests. So we're going to have you guys. So feel free, as you always do on our comment section on YouTube, feel free to hit me up throughout the first 15, 20 minutes of the show, and I'll run through all your guys' piping hot takes and your responses to me, whatever it might be, your hate for Mike Sealski. I don't know, whatever you're feeling today, folks, whatever you're feeling today. But here is Nick Sirianni. So we're going to get to that coming up in about 15 minutes. Here's Nick Sirianni talking about how they're going to stay sharp over the next 2 weeks before they get ready for their Week 1 season opener in Atlanta against the Falcons.
Competitive situations to get, good on good, get the guys, obviously we'll be down on numbers, because we're going to have to make some cuts. And so it will be more reps for the ones, just to make sure that they're getting ready, continuing to get ready. We've really ramped up their reps as it is, but continuing to get ready to play 70 plays or plus that Week 1 at Atlanta.
Competitive situations. What's that thing that you do when you have a competitive situation and the other team is also having a competitive situation and there's 4 quarters of, it's called a game. They have a game. Well, they don't have 2 games over the week, or they don't have a game over the next 2 weeks here. But they had an opportunity to play a couple of games here for competitive situations. But they chose not to do that. So over the next 2 weeks, they're going to have more competitive situations at what apparently is the most important thing in the world, which is practice. Not a game, but practice. I didn't know that, but you know what? We're all learning. And we're all going to be better people for it. So Jeff McClain of the Inquirer, Eagles beat writer, does a great job. He decided to press Nick Sirianni a little bit on why he didn't have his starters play in this 3rd and final preseason game against the Jets. Here's the reason Nick Sirianni gave to not playing his starters.
With the way we practiced the last 2 days, like the way we practiced against that you guys were at the practice against the Jets that second day, and even the first day. I mean, that was a hard physical practice. And to me, that's a game. The way we played that practice was a game, and we treated the post-practice just like we would treat a post-game. When we came in and evaluated, we did the whole film session and the charts that we look at just like a post-game. And to me, like, you don't ever come off of 2 days rest and play another game. So I didn't think that would be good for our guys health-wise, and I felt good about where we were, and that was the decision I made.
Is this is the guy that's supposed to be super competitive? This is the guy that's supposed to be all about keeping track of practices and keeping track of who wins and loses a practice, and this is the guy that also won't let you play in a game itself. Hey, look, you know what? I was thinking about it over the weekend more, especially after the game Friday, and I was thinking, okay, how much does it really matter? And then I watched Josh Allen play. I watched Patrick Mahomes play, and the only real guy that didn't play was Aaron Rodgers. And he's a 3-time MVP, so he can kind of do whatever the hell he damn well pleases. He's also 37 years old. So I'm thinking about this. Like, how much does it really matter? And it would have mattered, I think, if you would have got him out there for a quarter. If you would have got him out there, especially for a half. I wasn't asking for a half. I was asking for a couple series on Friday, if you remember, as long as some of the members of the offensive line were going to play. But to hear him talk about practice as if it is the most important thing when you're really overall just needing experience for a guy that's going into his first season ever as a professional number one quarterback, it makes zero sense to me. Gardner Minshew is going to come in here with more experience this preseason alone than your starting quarterback. And that shouldn't be breaking news when you consider the way the league has gone over the last couple of years. But when you watch Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes play predominant roles in the preseason, maybe for one game, if at all, where's Jalen Hurts this entire time? It's completely bass-ackwards when it comes to how Nick Sirianni, the gospel according to Sirianni coming into Philadelphia, all about competition. Well, I guess it's all about competition only in practice and not the game itself. It of all the things, and I have been a Nick Sirianni fan. I was the guy defending them with the whole rock, paper, scissors thing. I'm not on a hate train for Nick Sirianni at all. But if you're going to talk about the first thing we could do to question his coaching, aside from his opening press conference, his introductory press conference, this is it right now. This does not seem like the best strategy for a first-time head coach to try to be pulling off.